Good afternoon, everybody. Auronnj here with another War of the Visions video, and today is episode number 2 of Let's Muse on Mages, and we are throwing it all the way back in time to the original reroll target in this game, because nobody understood that you were supposed to reroll for Jezebels. We're talking about Medina, the top of the reroll tier list 9 months ago, or however long ago. We're going to see how she fits into the game now. We're going to look at her compared to other mages in the game and see if she still has a role to play, in the current game approaching a year later. So to start things off, I think it's important to check Medina's stats to the stats of other mages in the game right now. So we're going to put her stats on the screen. You see them there on the left. And then we're going to compare her stats to 3 other mages. We're going to go Kilfe, Skull, and Sakura, kind of in that order, and see where Medina fits compared to them stat-wise, right? So first of all, 1717 HP. I think that's the thing that everybody's going to see right off the bat. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, this is a UR unit with 1700 HP? Yeah, that's kind of bad. And you'd be right to point that out. Even looking at the other 3 mages on the screen, none of them are even close to that low. Skull, who I would say is direct competition for Medina, still has 400 more HP than she does. And sometimes Skull can survive a hit or two. Medina's low HP is further compounded by her horrible resist stats. Look at those negative 20s to every physical attack type. Slashing, piercing, missile, fists, negative 20 across the board. Awful. Now, you're probably immediately thinking, oh my gosh, is this unit just trash? No, Medina is not a trash unit, and we need to look at her strengths to kind of understand that. So let's start with magic. Base magic 381. That is better than any of the other mages on the board. How much better? Probably not enough to make up for her lack of HP and survivability, but it is significant. 381 compared to Kilfe's like 327, compared to Sakura's like 355. Okay, so Medina's meant to be a glass cannon, like a true glass cannon mage in every way. So can she do it? Well, let's look at her agility next. That's a big strength of hers. 61 base agility is tied with Skull for the highest on this list. 61 base agility is legitimately fast. And you're going to see when we go look at her skills, Medina has a way of boosting that agility with a support ability. So she is very, very fast, and that is a strength of her. Then the last strength I want to look at while we're checking out stats is her magic resist. She has 25 base magic resist. That's phenomenally good. If a pure magic meta comes back in, you might be able to build Medina in such a way that she can even take a few hits before dying from mages, right? And I mean just from mages. Everything else, she's in one hit category for like MR DPS characters. Like Gafgarion's going to destroy her in one hit. Not Etra. Maybe Etra wouldn't, but I don't know that Etra hits things because you have to be like in the match to hit things, but that's a whole nother thing. All right, anyway. I feel like we could get that picture from these stats. She's clearly not a bruiser like Kilfe. She's comparable to Skull in a lot of ways. And then Sakura, well, Sakura's kind of a weird mix of in between like Kilfe and Medina and Skull. And we'll see how Sakura fits in when her video comes out. But I feel like we've got a pretty good story from these stats. We're looking at a glass cannon who's very fast and does a lot of damage. So let's go from here to actually looking at her skills. We're going to go into the client, build some teams, and hit the arena, see how well she fills that role of a glass cannon mage. Okay, for our first lineup, here's the gear we're going to have Medina running here. I'm going to give her a Plat Rod +5, a wolf hat, just to kind of guarantee her hits. Now, she might not even necessarily need that because she has such high luck and dexterity that she's going to probably hit things anyway. Then I'm going to give her the string for Maneater with magic. I'm going to run Diablos as her Esper and Trousseau as her vision card to boost that magic attack. So she's sitting at 74 agility in this group. and that's without running her agility passive. But let's see what happens if we put Shadowrunner on her. This will boost her agility to 80. So now we're talking real speed. But we're not going to do that because on the current map, having that move and jump bonus will allow her to navigate the terrain easier and hopefully not bottleneck with our tank, because that's the thing you have to worry about with her, is bottlenecking with the tank. We're also going to run magic up, which puts her at 946 magic. So you can see she approaches that like 1k magic mark, which is, you know, big. And we don't have Ramu in this group. What else are we looking at here? Well, we're going to run Black Mage. We're going to have Blizzard, Blizzaga, Flare, Standard, Fair, right? These are just basic Black Mage, I'm coming at you with damage spells. Now for sub job, this is interesting. We have Ninja here, but we have most of the things turned off, right? Like, what are you going to do with these? I guess you could turn Decider of Fate on. This will amplify her damage a little more, guarantee a hit, and guarantee it's a crit for one turn. So is the idea here, first turn, Medina's going to move forward, cast Decider of Fate, second turn crit somebody to death? Perhaps. At least that's what we're going to try with this team comp here. Running with Medina, we have Warrior of Light. He's going to be our tank. You see he's not even equipped with a weapon here. We just want him going forward and not dying, because man, we need Medina to not get hit. To help him, we have Skull, who's going to serve as like a time mage support with his black mage as, you know, more damage. We're further amplifying Medina's damage with the Man-Eater magic card, and then giving the whole team Pierce Resist. That's just for Warrior of Light. We need him to be able to tank everything. So let's find a fight with this group and see how we do. Okay, so straight away, we see a comp here that has Thancred, Warrior of Light, and Kayn. So I figure that this comp is not going to be building a bunch of magic resist. One thing I want to stress with Medina is how important it is for her to kill things when she hits them. If she's in range to do damage, she might be in range to receive damage. So we really need her killing things that she's in range of. Let's see though. So I would have liked for the enemy Kayn to have come straight forward over the mountain, kind of like Medina just did, so she could have been in range to hit him, but she didn't, so okay. Now, we need Warrior of Light to go forward for us here and pull that aggro. So go forward, Warrior of Light, gather that hate. Enemy team's just buffing, Skull's also out here buffing. He might be charging a Quicken right here, which would give Warrior of Light a nice little 1-2 combo. He's going to go forward, stop strike, actually land the stop. Then here comes Quicken. Nice. So Warrior of Light now full on in aggro range of the enemy team. Medina walks into range. Here's Cosmo Plume. Her signature limit break move catches the enemy Kayn only, doesn't kill him, but did respectable damage. Like, right, that's pretty good damage. Meanwhile, Skull, just being the time mage support we want him to be, I guess. Here's what we came for. Let's see what Medina can do. She's charging up an attack now, but really Warrior of Light's been the MVP of this fight so far. What do we got, Medina? Flare. So here's her other signature move. What kind of damage are we getting from Flare on the tank? 26-13. Not bad. Still nothing to really write home about yet. This team has definitely snuck some magic resist in, and Warrior of Light is pretty resistant to magic anyway with his spirit buff. The important thing to note about this comp so far though is look how safe our mages have been. By using Warrior of Light with like Quicken to get him all the way forward, he's been able to just tank everything. And again, stop has helped, right? Like him stopping everything has prevented, you know, like a Kayn from finding a random AoE that hit Medina or something like that. Really, this fight has been very clean. Mage is just moving in. Here comes a Blizzard from Medina. What kind of damage we got here? Pretty good, 2507. Used up the rest of her AP with that and killed the enemy. Now, did Medina do her job in that fight? Yeah. She went over the mountain, used her mobility, got to the back line, hit a bunch of people, did the most damage on our team by far. Did she carry that fight? Kind of. Warrior of Light also really kind of carried that fight too. Alright, let's swap the team comp up a little bit and see how Medina works in like a pure mage team and see if that's really like a thing. So for our next fight, we're going to put Killfay in, have Killfay be that like mage tank that we just showed her off as in the last episode. We have Skull to keep performing that same job he did last time because he did great. And we have Medina to be our charge over the mountain and go kill people person just like before. Now, the big change here that I want to point out is we brought Ramuh as our third card. This will boost Medina's magic to 1077 and maybe she'll one-hit things this time, because you saw last time that enemy Kayn almost got one-shot by her Cosmo Plume, and we really need her one-shotting things to justify using her, I would say. So let's go find an opponent. Okay, so we're jumping into a fight here. I didn't get the first screen recorded, but this is a Dwayne, Thancred, Kayn squad. Pretty common squad in Arena right now. Yeah, so let's see how we do. Very physical damage based, and we have Killfay as a physical damage tank. Now that's what we really wanted to see right there. Enemy Kayn started the fight by running forward over the mountain. Medina charges forward to meet him and begins charging a spell. Now what's she got here? She has Flare. What kind of damage are we looking at? Very nice. One-shot level of damage. Now, unfortunately, Killfay has not got a taunting spell off yet. So, well, let's see. She just buffed herself. Here comes Quicken. Can she get a taunting spell off and pull that hate? Yes. Kills Kayn. Okay, great. Killfay and Skull combo there. MVP of this fight so far. And Medina has done her job very well. Now, unfortunately, Medina is walking towards the danger zone here. Let's see. Okay, Skull going to get a flare off on the enemy Thancred. Could be one-shot territory again. Yup. You see the power of pure black mages here. Flare hits like a truck. Medina going to go ahead, charge forward. She's scared of nothing. Going to drop her Cosmo Plume here on the enemy Dwayne. Pretty good damage, right? Almost killed the enemy tank in one hit. And then there you go. You got to see the Medina fragileness on full display. She takes 6,000 damage from Dwayne. So, very glass cannon. When she fired, she did a ton of damage. But as soon as she took damage, oh, she's gone. She's like paper in the wind and just blows away. Cool, though. Okay, I want to do one more fight with Medina here, because we usually do 3. And I want to change her ninja sub-job this time to Green Mage and highlight one particular ability she has, and that is Vitalize. So, she has the ability to cast this buff that is a 25% agility buff on a target for 3 turns. I'm going to turn this on in this fight, and I believe that's the only thing from this that I'm going to turn on. Yes, I'm going to turn the rest of this off. Then you can see she has some useful things in here for like PvE, but that's not really the focus of this video. Her PvE ability is strong, like I think most people understand that, but this is a PvP video. Anyway, we're going to see if Revitalize, that agility buff, is a nice thing to throw on Killfay turn 1, or if she'll even use it. Because guys, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. Let's find a physical damage team though. Here's one. And let's throw Medina out there and see if she'll buff her friend Killfay. Now, before we get into this, there's a couple things to consider when you're wanting your mages to be supporters, right? Like Skull doesn't have the ability to get over that mountain and start damaging people right away, whereas Medina does. So, if the enemy moves forward a lot and comes over the mountain, Medina will just not care about buffing at all, and she'll go straight for damage. If she can get in range to hit somebody on her first turn, she's going to do that thing. So, did the enemy Kayn get in her range, or will she choose to buff early on? Let's find out. Here it comes. She's going to buff. Awesome. So, there's Killfay buffing her shield, and there's a 25% agility buff from Medina. Now, it's cool because that stacks with haste. So we have a very, very, very fast Killfay right now, who's going to be getting quickens and all of the things. So let's see what Killfay can do. Now, there's Wing Staff, so there's her move and jump up 1. Here comes Quicken. Awesome. So this Killfay is a quick girl. She quickly runs up to Kayn and she says, "Here's my limit break. Die." Does she kill him though? No. So, I'm curious to see what Medina brings for damage Actually, she was, he was in the air, so she just goes and buffs her friend again. Lots of Quicken flying around on this map early. Cool. I don't know. This fight feels really fragile to me. And yeah, because... Oh, she lived. Medina lived through a hit. You guys, it is actually possible for Medina to not die in one shot. You saw it here first. There's a big taunting spell from Kilfei, because we need Kilfei tanking everything. Now, can Medina turn this fight that we're losing around with a Cosmo Plume right here? That was nice damage. However, Courage procced, and Dwayne did not die. So without Skull, are we going to be short damage? Man, I feel like the answer to that might be yes. Let's see, though. Kilfei's down. It's Medina versus the world, and she's in, 1 HP range and goes down. So, did that work really well? I mean, no, not really. Was it cool? Yeah, it was cool to see Kilfei just super speeding around the map. However, she suffered from the fact that she wanted to do more damage than use Taunting Spell. So maybe had we had Taunting Spell on earlier, it would have worked out. I don't know. I just wanted to show off that build as an option. Anyway, let's skip forward to the grading part. Let's give Medina some scores and see where she ranks on our Super Elite ranking system. Alrighty, so we're going to use the same 6 criteria we use for Kilfei for all of our mages. That's going to be damage, AoE, utility, movement, speed, and durability. Let's jump right in and start with damage. Medina does a lot of damage. That's what she's built for. She succeeds in being the cannon part of the glass cannon, so I'm going to give her a 95 on damage. You saw her putting 5,000 to 6,000 damage on a cane with Flare. You saw her limit break hitting lots of people for big damage. I think her damage is her strongest thing. I'm going to give her a 95 there. Okay, AoE ability. I'm going to give her a 90 on this. Her limit break hits in a big AoE and reduces magic resist of the people it hits before it hits them. It's capable of one-shotting squishy targets, it's capable of doing big damage to tanks, and her AI seems pretty good about finding angles to get in there and hit multiple people with it. So, that alone is worth a lot of AoE score. But Blizzaga, which she also likes to use when she can hit more than one person with it, also hits very hard. Not as hard as Flare, but hard. So I'm going to give her not a 95 on AoE, like where her damage is, but I'll scale it back a little bit and give her a 90. But I think those two stats by themselves tell Medina's story. That's the cannon half of being a glass cannon. Okay, but let's move on, because her score is going to quit ramping up as much at about this point. Utility. Doesn't have a lot, especially for PvP. You saw that she could run as like a green mage and cast that agility buff, and that was cool. But really, I'd rather her just charge forward and kill somebody. I don't want Medina hanging out in the back with the boys, buffing everybody, so then she can move forward with them later and get AoE'd to death. I'd rather her stay to the side, go straight at a target, and kill him. That's sort of how I envision her working. Is like when Kane comes over the mountain, I want you coming over the mountain and killing him before he can do anything. Yeah, like, her utility... Now, okay, caveat. Her ult, or her limit break, does debuff, ice resist. She brings debuffs to PvE. That's why I'm not giving her a terrible score here. But this is mostly a PvP video and mostly a PvP channel, so I'm not going to weigh her PvE abilities a ton. But I will give her a 70 instead of like a 60 or a 65. She can buff agility, and she brings a lot of debuffs to PvE. Okay, that's probably enough there. Movement. Hey, I'm going to give her an 85 here and continue to creep her score up on that scoreboard on the right there. Yeah, she can move, and she has it on a support ability. She doesn't have to buff it like Kilfei. So I'm very comfortable giving her a good score of 85 here. The only reason it's 85 and not higher is sometimes she can move into threat range. So it's not like you can't be brain dead with her movement. You got to think about it a little bit, or she can move herself into trouble. But she can move around the map no problem. 85, I like it a lot. Okay, speed. Here her score is going to start ramping up again. She's fast, and we weren't even watching fast version of Medina. I wasn't running the agility buff because I don't think it suited her on this map. So she can be even faster than what you saw. It's a strength of hers. I'm going to give her a 90 on speed. For a mage, she's zipping around. Great. Okay, now the last one, durability. Yeah, her score is going to come back down on that chart a little bit here. I'm going to give her a 60 on durability. Guys, she dies to almost everything. She randomly lived through one of Nivlu's like AoE attacks, but that wasn't even like a missile comp. It was a mixed damage comp. That attack doesn't hit particularly hard. She dies to bruisers. She dies to DPS classes. It's hard to keep her alive. Like, the best fight that she had, the best way our team worked, was to quicken Warrior of Light straight into the enemy team, so they were just piling on him and she was able to stay safely back. If you can make that happen, this character serves as a great DPS unit. She is a true glass cannon, and glass cannons get a 60 on durability because they're made of glass. Alright, anyway, where did her score kind of end up on this thing? Well, it ended up overall at an 80, and I feel like that's a good score for Medina. She has a ton of scores that are way higher than 80. And I think she deserves those scores. But she has some scores that are way lower than 80. And I think she deserves those too. And in my mind, it evened out at right about an 80. She feels a little outdated to me. When she came out, powerhouse. But almost immediately, once tankier units started coming in, Medina started filtering out of high-end PvP. Because, man, there's a lot of AoE in this game. And, man, if she gets caught by it, she has a way of just dying. So, it's just tough to give her that, like, gold star of approval. She can be the #1 carry of your account. Now, can she carry fights? Yes, she absolutely can carry fights. It's just harder than it is with other units who you can just put out there and let them do their thing. Medina requires planning, and Medina requires knowing how the other team is going to move, especially early in a fight. So, yeah, that's it. That's what I think about Medina. I've had her since day one. I didn't have to reroll. I actually didn't reroll in this game. I just randomly got her on my second UR pull. My first UR was Eileen. Blessings. But yeah, I really liked Medina. She's fun, and it's fun to throw mages out there and just watch them hammer things. But it would be hard to recommend using her over like Skull or Killfay or somebody like that. But if you have her and you want to use her, very usable, fun unit. And yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed to the channel already and you're like, man, these are pretty cool, hit that subscribe button. Check out the Killfay video from episode 1 of this series. Check out the tank and support series that season 1 is already finished with. And yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. I will see you all in my next video.